My route started with a climb up to Portmore Loch from the A703. This loch sits at the base of Dundreich in the Moorfoot Hills and is part of the water supply for Edinburgh. I took the track on the east side of the loch, which brought me through Bowland Farm and down into Eddleston village. From Eddleston, the climb westwards past the Barony Castle Hotel takes you out onto the Old Drove Road. Turning north on this road brings you to a junction with the Shipwell Road, where you can take a turning west to Cloich Forest. Cloich is a vast forest covering a large area of the hills in between the A702 and A703 roads. Much of the original forest has now been felled, but what's left still presents many interesting options for both biking and walking routes. Climbing up the forestry track towards the top of Harehope Hill, we can see Curhope Cottage appear on our right. This cottage is very isolated and used to be a shepherd's cottage, but more recently was used for outward bound adventures. Now it has unfortunately fallen into disrepair and is no longer of any use. As you continue along the forest track, you near the top of Harehope Hill. From here there is an incredible view down to the hills of the Tweed Valley. The descent from Harehope Hill takes you down a vague path through a firebreak, which then meets up with more forestry roads. These roads then join the Meldons Road, which brings you down a beautiful descent into Lyne Station just to the west of Peebles. From Lyne Station, the path takes you through the Barnes estate and brings you out at Kirkton Manor at the side of the Manor Water. From here you have a choice of going right and round Capemere Hill, or going left and down to the Tweed. This time I went left and followed the Tweed down the path past Neathpath Castle and the viaduct to Peebles. Through Peebles, the steep climb up Janet's Brae brought me into Glentress, and from here I cycled up to the radio mast on Dunslayer Heights. At 600 metres above sea level, this was the highest point of my ride, and from here I could enjoy a nice descent into the Leithen water valley. Whilst descending the forestry tracks to the Leithen water, I came across this ruined cottage. My route took me right past this cottage, and further down the same track I was surprised to discover the grand Leithen Lodge. Despite its size, the Leithen Lodge is hidden far up the valley in amongst the trees, and far from any main roads. Eventually, the forestry road I had been following down from Dunslayer Heights brought me out onto the B709, locally known as the Granites. I turned northwards onto this road and climbed high over the Moorfoot hills. Once I reached the other side, I had an amazing view over to the Pentlands, the Lothians and Edinburgh, and from here I descended until I was near to Gorebridge. From Gorebridge, a ride over the back roads to Temple and then to Gladhouse Reservoir brought me back near to my starting point at Portmore Loch.